Had a long day today. Had a late meeting going into 7:30. Got home, did my routine, walked my dogs, fed my dogs, and kind of reflected on the day. Earlier today, while I was at a client's speaking with a gentleman, a conversation came up where he moved down to Florida, take advantage of some opportunity here in the last few years. And the conversation went a little bit like this. Man, it's been hard finding my purpose. I told him, I understand what you're saying. He doesn't know what I just went through, and I didn't tell him right away because I wanted to hear him out. And he was just saying, it's been real tough for me because I moved down here. He left a good paying job for opportunity, a really good paying job up around the Northeast in the bigger city. And he just feels like he lost purpose. And he's not sure if he's doing the right thing and what his next step should be. And that resonated with me, and I told him, I understand. I know what you're going through. But you got to keep trucking through. Either find another passion and hobby, and he does have a number of passion and hobbies that we both kind of share. And it just hit me. It hit me because I've been thinking about this the past week real hard. But ever since I did lose my mom, I've been thinking to myself, do I need to adjust my purpose? What is my purpose? And I'm going to share something that I haven't shared with anyone except one other person, with two other people. I haven't even shared this with my family. So I hope this means something to you if you're watching it. One of my goals in my life, and this is a top goal, we're talking about top 5. One of the things that I wanted to do my whole life that I'll never be able to do now, I'll never be able to fulfill this dream, moment, celebration, rekindling. I wanted to reunite my mother with her mother, my grandmother, because they hadn't seen each other in close to 30 years. I think it was maybe 28 years. Face to face, in person. My mom hadn't returned back home to Poland since she left. My brother and I were always the ones who got to go over and see family and meet family. And my mom was a hustler and just hustled her way. But one thing I always wanted to do, that I guess I broke that promise now, was really reunite my mother with my grandmother. And I'll never have the chance to do that again. I did have the chance during my mother's last days to have a prayer facilitated through WhatsApp, through video WhatsApp, that included my grandmother with my mother when she was still able to talk and was conscious. It was my brother, my mother, my grandmother, her sister, and a priest. That was the closest reunion that I was able to facilitate with the timeline. Before then, obstacles got in the way. Mostly my mother's recurring health and knowing she wouldn't be able to withstand an 8-hour flight, possibly with a layover, but whatever the case may have been, 7 to 8 hour flight. her health just wasn't up to par to be able to go through such a journey. And when we did make steps to move forward with it, it was real hard because my mom did need to get her passport renewed, and that's a whole process. And COVID hit. COVID hit in the middle of all that, and it just made things so much more complicated. And by the time the virus settled down a little bit, my mom's health got worse. And I remember close to a year ago, I reached out to the consulate to find out what I can do to help facilitate the passport renewal. I reached out. I got an answer I didn't really want to hear. It got me nowhere. But I knew time was ticking. And when my mom's health started getting worse, when she could walk less and less, and when her days started getting shorter in terms of going out and having fun with friends, having fun playing bingo, going to certain arcades, going out to coffee with friends, when I noticed that time was dwindling, I knew that there was a possibility that I would never be able to fulfill that dream. And part of that, the reason for this thought that I had earlier with this gentleman, where he mentioned he doesn't know what his purpose is. It's okay to be in a predicament like that if you're a male or a female, but us males kind of take it harder when we're trying to find our purpose, because there's so much that's put on us, so much stress that may be put on us, especially if you have a family, where those who have a family, that's part of your purpose, right? Is to create opportunities for the next generation, whether that's through wealth, education, opportunity. Doesn't sleep. And when you have children, that's part of your purpose. But when you don't have children yet, when you're recovering from ups and downs that many of us have had the past 4 to 5 years, it makes it really hard to get through. And it's a matter of how you bounce back and how you move forward that really makes a difference. So I spoke to a friend of mine after I had this conversation with a gentleman, and I told him same thing. I'm kind of in the same position where I know my greater purpose, and that's to leave an impact and to help people build businesses, build themselves, and just be there as a resource, sharing my story, which is why I'm doing this video and why we'll be doing this series of videos moving forward. But a big piece of what I wanted to do in life is no longer achievable. Did I fail? Possibly. Am I hard on myself? Absolutely. Because I feel like I could have done more. But there was blockers that I couldn't control. And that's why I have a sticker on my car. Because people will ask me what the sticker means on my car. And it simply means, fuck cancer. Because there's many folks out there, you, who may be watching, who's going through a similar journey, where part of your purpose, if you're family oriented, to provide opportunity, memories, and celebrations is no longer attainable because of cancer. So I'm going to end this video with purpose. Purpose changes throughout your life. Purpose isn't necessarily a concrete goal out there that you achieve. Purpose is a way by which you live. And for me moving forward, my purpose, part of my purpose will remain impacting and leaving an impact on folks, on businesses, on friends, on fellow leaders, and the generations to come. Whether that be through stories, education, coaching, or simply a conversation through YouTube to help others understand and see different perspectives in order to achieve their own life goals and their own purpose. It burns me up. It burns me up, and it has the past week. I wish I had that moment where I could watch my mom, hug her mom, and reunite. Instead, I was there as a medium for my mom's closest loved ones, allowing them to give their last words to my mom. And that genuinely will take away from my purpose in life. There will always be that little void, that little accomplishment, even though I said in my definition that it's not necessarily an objective. The purpose, my purpose, is to leave an impact across the board. And I wasn't able to leave an impact that I wanted to leave between my grandmother and my mother. So remember, whatever your purpose may be, it will evolve as the time goes by. And never lose sight of it. No matter how hard you're hit, no matter when you hit rock bottom, never lose sight of it. The light is always at the end of the tunnel. Crawl through it or break through it. Now remember, there are no limits. Perspective is everything. Think through it, fight through it. You've got this.